Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is your video discussion of The Expanse, Season 1, Episode 10, the Season 1 finale.
We made it.
We made it. It was a journey. It was fun. It took us a little bit of time to really dive into everything with The Expanse, but everything is starting to come together now, and I think it comes together in a pretty cool way at the end of this season.
Yep, that sets us up very well going into the next season with more questions.
More questions, more, I'm usually very anti the binge watching model. I think I've made that clear a lot. I like having time to digest things and watch them week to week and kind of take their time with them, but I'm kind of glad I don't have to sit on the ending of this finale for like many months like a lot of you guys probably did, because I have so many questions.
I need answers.
We don't have any answers right now.
I know, but we can start watching again tomorrow.
Yeah, this is true. All right. Well, before we do anything else, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to Carter Matt on YouTube, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we have coming your way. All right. How in the world did the blue stuff turn into a dude and then end up punching poor Kenzo out at somewhere else?
Yeah, it was, that was the craziest moment.
Yeah.
I'm even more confused about the blue goo than I ever was. I thought maybe some kind of a bioweapon. Now I'm just not sure. The fact that it was turning almost into like a molecular structure to build to like almost like a clone of him because it looked like him looking at him before it pulled him up and did whatever it was going to do to him. I just don't know what this stuff is anymore. I know we had the scientist, I want to call him Dresden.
Yeah, I think Dresden's right, yeah.
I'm probably saying his name wrong. Forgive me if I'm saying it
wrong. I think it is Dresden.
Okay, basically saying that Julie's going to save them all, that this blue goo is here to save everyone. So, and then we saw that at the end, and now I'm so confused at what this blue goo actually is. What are these experiments for? Is this for some sort of greater good? Does Jules have some sort of plan to save people with this? What is this experiment?
I'm going to throw an idea out here, everyone.
All right, let's have it.
Aliens. Yeah, I know. Please start throwing tomatoes at me now. But there have not been any aliens yet.
I feel like whatever this is probably alien. I mean, it's nothing that it seems that Earth or Mars or anyone else has seen before. So is it possible, or is this something that was created?
I think it was I want to think it was created. But
I mean, man-made created.
Yeah.
Like, is this something that is alien that they found and then they brought to Phoebe and was doing whatever they were doing and put it on the Anubis, and now they're like, let's learn from it, watch it, see what happens to it, what is it going to do? Or is it something that they made and they created this mess?
I feel like they created the mess. But I'm just trying to think. I promise I was not trying to storm Area 51, but I still have this idea in my head that maybe whoever created this, maybe Jules had some encounter with an alien, or he started to get super paranoid that some aliens are out there, and he's trying to develop like some sort of like fail-safe weapon in the event the aliens ever show up.
You still think it's a weapon?
Yeah, I think it's a weapon but I think it's a weapon that can preserve humanity, because maybe he wants to use it in the event that aliens ever come or there is a serious threat. But you're
thinking like, save us all, Julie's going to save us all, as Blue Goo's going to save us all, is he sees that there's a bigger threat coming, and this is going to be the thing that's going to stop whoever's come, the aliens.
Let's also remember this, though. Scientists are sometimes crazy. And so with that,
sometimes
the idea of the blue goo saving us all may not really be true. It may also mean, you know what? It'll protect Earth, but we can use it to screw over the belt, or we can use it to screw over Mars, or we can screw over someone else. It might be for the good of all humankind. It might be good for like whatever Dresden or Jules or whoever else considers to be humankind. It's all relative.
Yeah, and that's where, again, that whole idea of everyone's the hero in their own story and no one's really a villain, even though we just watched Jules commit this experiment on all these people and kill all these people. So, that doesn't seem like that's not villainous to me. However, if he, again, thinks that this is going to save people or this is going to be the thing that saves everybody, then now I'm back to feeling like, is he the bad guy? What is it that he's doing? This show is so good in that it makes me think that I'll hear these stories like Anderson Dawes killing his sister and be like, oh man, that's really terrible. Oh, but it saved my 3 sisters. Okay, maybe not so terrible. Maybe he's got a bigger picture in mind. And then I'm looking at characters now like Jules. Okay, his daughter is dead and he's just murdered everybody on Eros. Oh, but maybe this is going to be a thing that's going to save people. Okay, maybe now Jules isn't a villain? Well, I'm pulling my hair out a little bit on this one.
Well, here's the thing. I remember covering Once Upon a Time for many years on ABC.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what they always tried to stress on that show was that every one of their villains had something tragic happen to them, or at one point wasn't a villain, and they became that way over time. And it feels like we're either experiencing a similar phenomena here, or it's just this situation where, these people aren't necessarily villains now, but like a villain on a Once Upon a Time or a villain on any superhero show, they have an ideology. People don't do things for no reason 99% of the time. Every now and then you get somebody who's downright
who's like the Joker, and they're just like, I'm evil to be evil, ha ha ha. Yeah, no, nobody feels like that on this show.
I don't think anyone's trying to make the world burn. I think that they are trying with some sort of MO in mind, and it's possible that Jules' memo is just give me all the money. Or
I feel like it's deeper than that. I know he's a rich guy and he's got more money than God at this point, but is it really that he's doing it for more money? I thought maybe at first, but now that I've watched the end of season 1, I don't know. It feels like there's something. It's not just, I'm going to get this blue goo and I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder, or it's going to be a weapon. Maybe I'll sell it to Mars to fight Earth, or Earth to fight Mars, or whatever. It feels like there's something, he thinks there's something else to it.
And I do think that he is convinced in whatever he is doing. And I think this is setting the stage, obviously, for a good mystery moving into season 2, because we know now fully what this stuff is seemingly capable of on some level, even if we don't fully understand pretty much anything else beyond it. At least there's one good thing. I mean, there's a bad thing and all that is happening, and, it's probably a very bad day if you're Simi at the moment and you got shot down by Amos, but none of the main heroes died.
No, none of them did, but that was a very interesting scene.
Yeah.
Because we've seen earlier that Naomi and Amos had that moment when she was like, oh yeah, I knew that Holden made that call and I've known all this time. And he was like, you didn't tell me? I can't believe it. Like, we're tighter than this. How is this a thing? And he realized that she was afraid of him. And when he shot him, and she had a look on her face like she was afraid of him in that moment. That was what I got. I could be wrong. That's what I saw. And I didn't understand it. Because at that particular moment that Amos did that, he was saving her. He had a gun pointed at her, was going to kill her. So it felt like Amos was actually doing the right thing. I know he's a bit of a loose cannon, and sometimes he's just shooting people, and you're like, dude, what's happening? Why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. But in that case, it felt like he did. And he's the enforcer. Yeah. That is his role, to be there to enforce, to make sure that Naomi is okay and someone's got a gun pointed on her.
I'm just going to hypothesize here, because I don't know what's going on in Naomi's head, but I would say, I think she probably would recognize maybe 5 minutes after the fact, you know what, I think Amos did the right thing here. He was protecting me. He was protecting all of us in that way. Yeah. But I'm guessing that just the act of it happening in this moment of somebody getting shot right in front of you. I think there's just a horrifying element in front of it.
Absolutely, but I feel like she's. It's not that she hasn't seen some of this before.
It's true. And I mean, maybe this is just, the Expanse doing something that I think like 90% of all shows on TV just don't do. Where you see like, and I'm not dogging on any crime show, but just a lot of these crime shows that we even cover, you see people like going into these mass shootouts every week. And then at the end of the episode, they're just like,
everybody's fine.
Here's some funny banter we're all going to have with each other.
It's true.
And it's just like, okay, maybe they're actually showing that this is having a psychological impact at some point on Naomi,
and maybe that was the thing that I was reading on her face wrong. I was reading it as she was shocked that he just did this, and that more so not shocked that he did it, but more of that fear that she was talking, or that he was talking about earlier in the other episodes, that I saw fear, like, oh man, like this is going to turn into a problem, or it is turning into a problem, and I'm going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, and I think you're probably right. I think there probably is some fear on there. I don't know to what measure, but I feel like if there was a scene that we had seen where Amos had gone to Naomi after the fact and was just sort of like, listen, I'm sorry that was so sudden and that happened, but he was going to kill you, and I will do anything to protect you. I think if we had seen that scene in this finale, it probably would have aided further to kind of whatever sort of healing needed to be done between the two of them. But I don't know if Amos is the person who's going to have that conversation.
Yeah, I don't know that he will.
Yeah, and so I think that just sort of adds that other kind of layer of mystery here to everything.
So what are you feeling about this Holden, Naomi kind of feeling like there's some kind of romance happening here?
I don't know. And I don't know because, I mean, it felt like there was a moment. Sometimes moments are just moments. Sometimes they don't always carry over into something else. Sometimes what feels right in 1 second doesn't feel right a few seconds after the fact. It depends on how they develop it. I mean, if they take their time with it and actually kind of introduce things that are more interesting and introspective and actually get to know each other deeper, maybe I can be on board with it, but I'm also not, I'm not craving in my soul that I need a romance on the Expanse right now. And if I do, I'm okay with it coming from a more unexpected place.
Yeah. For me, I enjoyed that there was no romance through this whole first season.
Yeah, it was unusual.
There was really not much of anything. Yeah, there was little moments with Miller and Octavia or whatever, but that really wasn't anything. And I really liked it because seeing a show that has no love interest, that doesn't happen. I can't even name one that's happened off the top of my head. Every show has something like that. So to have a full season where there's nothing was refreshing. So if they go into it in season 2 or season 3 and that's where they go with it, they're going to have to sell me on it a little bit more than what's happening, and hopefully they will.
I will say this for now, and this may be insane. I if I have to have a romance, I would kind of ship Miller and Octavia maybe a little bit more than I would Holden and Naomi, mostly just because I want to see Miller go back there and have to try to earn her back and apologize. I don't know if he's capable of this. I don't think this is going to happen because I mean the actress who plays Octavia, clearly she had to manifest another job, if you know what I'm saying.
What you did there.
So yeah, I don't think that is really the direction that we're going here, but
yeah, I'm not really shipping anybody.
Yeah.
It like I just said, it's very refreshing to go into a show, and I don't care if anybody's getting together romantically. There is so much other great stuff that's happening on this show that I didn't even really notice that there is no element of romance to it until that last little scene where she's kind of touching his hand. I was like, oh no, is this where this is going? And I don't mean it like, oh no, I can't ever see them together, but more like, oh no, I really enjoyed having nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
romantic going on.
I guess the closest we had was that very scene in the very first episode, and since what happened to the Canterbury, that's all been kind of gone and out the window.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess, though, good on Holden for still being alive to explore anything that could happen.
Yep.
I mean, this was a total Miller and Holden were basically moving along in slow motion at the end of all of this to just try to survive.
For those of you out there that don't know, I'm a former funeral director, so I've seen a lot. But watching Miller coughing up all that goo and blood throughout this actually made me feel sick to my stomach. And that's saying a lot because I'm not going to get into what I've seen, but I've seen a lot. So it was really good in that way that it made me feel something.
Like,
it felt very real.
Here's how messed up I am, everyone. I was okay with that, but if one of them had started, like, coughing up, like, locusts or, like, some sort of, like, weird bug stuff, like, I would have been out of the room. And everyone has their own things that make them squeamish. It was gross. There was a lot of gross stuff in this episode, don't get me wrong. But
I think it was just a lot of unexpected moments with it where I didn't expect him to, like, cough it up right then and there, and then it was more and more. It was, oh my God, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Well done.
They're okay. They're alive. They get to move forward, whatever the next stage of this is going to be for them, where, you know, it seems like they all have a mission now. They're going to go and try to chase down Dresden and, you know.
Yep, see what's happening, what's going on. This is the last little bit of information that they've got right now.
Yeah, they might as well pursue this. And I mean, back on Earth, you have Christian, who is
what a mess.
That is a mess on top of a mess with, like, a side of mess.
Holy
where
smokes.
You've got, like, one side of things that's like, it's not us, no, it's look over here, look at everything that Fred is doing.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, I'll play along with your game. Yeah, it's Fred.
Yeah, I mean, we're also like, it's not Fred at all, but...
and it's interesting because you were just the very little subtle movements on both of their faces. It was almost felt like they both could tell that neither of them were really 100% buying it, what the other person was selling, because they're both lying, but they're like, oh yeah, it's Fred. Yeah, it's Fred. Okay, so now they're moving forward with this. She knows that this smoke screen's only going to last for so long before he's like, she knows it's not Fred.
Yeah, this is all like a temporary sort of thing. She's going to keep doing what she's going to do to keep digging into this and what really happened to set up these ships. And, you know, Fred, I think, might end up doing what he can from afar. I mean, I got to say, I'm surprised. When we first saw that Fred was the Butcher, I thought we were going in a very different direction with Fred than what we have gone in through the end of this season.
Yeah.
And I guess that's refreshing. Not everyone has to be a, you know, stone-faced murderer out to just destroy and decimate everyone.
Yeah, no. And it's an interesting spot for him to be in because he is known as the Butcher and he's legit telling the truth. And no one's going to believe him.
He is the Butcher who cried wolf in that sort of way. And I think the interesting thing to me about this finale, sort of just big picture, is, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I think this was a great first season. I'm in on all the characters, which is all I really can ask for through one season. But it's also interesting, there wasn't really a lot of resolution to actually much of anything within the finale. It was just sort of like...
Oh, it got worse.
Yeah, everything got worse. We found out, I guess, we found out what happened to Julie. I mean, I guess there is a resolution through the final 2 episodes of the season.
And everyone on Eros is dead with some horrible blue goo and radiation that's like taking on forms of people. This is the worst it could be.
Yeah,
I feel, but maybe I'm wrong and season 2 will get even worse.
Well, I think this will be a fun thing for us to track, is just seeing if we see resolution to anything or if everything just keeps spiraling worse and worse and worse for everyone through the remainder of this series, because I think for the two of us, whether we've been writing about shows or doing stuff on YouTube, I think we're really used to having shows that sort of have specific arcs where you have a beginning, middle, and kind of like a pseudo end where you get some conclusion but a tease of what's to come. This is a different sort of animal, I think, for us in that sort of way.
Yeah, it is, because there is no resolution at all.
No, and, I mean, it's cool, though, because we could just start season 2, get right back into it, which we have, obviously, every intention in the world of doing. I'm pretty satisfied, though, coming out of the season 1 finale. I think this delivered on everything that I could have at least possibly hoped for.
Yeah, I agree, and gave me even more.
Yeah, it gave us more. We kind of know the world. We know the players now. I'm sure we will meet new faces in Season 2 coming up. I just, cross our fingers and hope that they're every bit as cool as everyone who we've seen so far in Season 1. But I guess we will wrap this video up now, and we want to know from you guys, when you saw the finale for the first time, because we don't need any spoilers on the future, so let's just say when you saw the finale for the first time here, what did you think? What were some of your theories? Were they as crazy as anything that I have said? Let us know in the comments.
And tell us what you thought the blue goo was. No spoilers, but we're still trying to figure out what it is. What did you guys think it was without actually telling us what it was?
Yeah, of course. But like we said, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the Carter Matt store, and we'll see you here next time.